What's up, Jack? We're about to get started. We may have some more people come in. So if y'all want to pull up the first handout, I'm gonna start sharing, but the first handout is times of the day, that PowerPoint. We may not get to the skit tonight because I've got some stuff to work on as far as times. But I don't know if we have time, we'll get to it. Let's see, go here, share screen. Times of the day. Oh, it should be over here. Okay, maybe I need to go to the PowerPoint. Okay, I clicked on it. I'll do share screen again. Okay, maybe I need to drag it over to share. Guess I can't do that. Bring it back over here. Okay, here it is. Okay, we got audio, share it, and we'll drag it over. Okay, that's the day. Looks like we got, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got 5 in person, six online. I know a few people let us know that they weren't going to be making it in tonight, so might be a small class tonight. Give it about three more minutes before we start, guys. Give everybody a chance to show up. Hope everybody's doing good. Just another reminder to be reviewing what we've kind of handed out, like as far as a lot of the words introduced and each topic. One thing I will kind of say to as far as like the study for the knowledge check is as far as a hint, what might be the most common out of each topic that we covered for each night is definitely what's going to be on that knowledge check. So not everything that we've handed out will be, but that's why I would kind of look at I would still look at everything again. The phonetics, which like I said, I don't know if we'll be getting to the skit tonight based on what we're covering because we're gonna go through the material first. But the phonetics, the consonants and the vowels, that handout will definitely be on the test up. Yeah, I forwarded you the email. You might not be connected to the network then. Does it show you're connected? Or are you able to do anything else? Yes. Um, it's an older one. Okay, it's 6:05, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's see. So we're going to be talking about time tonight. Tonight we're kind of going to be going over kind of how to tell time. So there will be a little math, not too complicated, but because we did cover math in the last beginner class. Uh, but numbers 1 through 10 and 10 through 100 will just kind of be like available. It is in that handout on that beginner telling time PowerPoint. But we're going to be talking about how to tell time, just kind of showing y'all what that looks like. And then we're also going to be talking about times a day. So that's what we're going over tonight. And then Thursday, we'll be going over months and years. So time and the concept in Potawatomi. Let's see, get this mic on. Time was never important to the Potawatomi people. You did something until you got it done or you went without. The most important mark of time was in the seasons and moons. We followed a 13 moon cycle. Each moon was descriptive of what was done during that month. For example, maple syrup month or leaves changing color month. We will cover all the months in this upcoming lesson, which that'll be Thursday. The concept of hours and minutes, these also tended to make a little difference until modern times to our people. You may have heard the expression running on Indian time, hence running behind or getting something done in our own good time. We are going to explain in the next lesson how we talk about time today, as our world has certainly become very dependent on time. Times a day. In this lesson, we are going to focus on different times of day. These would be seen as much more important to our ancestors than exact time. Besides that, our ancestors would have been very adept at telling exact time by looking at the sun. Today, if someone asked one of us to look at the sun and tell them what time it was, we would most probably be lost or at least a little off. Some words for times of day. Some of these words have been introduced in previous lessons, but not explained in more depth until now. So say it with me. Ngom. That's today. Ngom. That's today. Kind of flowing into that N sound. This next one is Wabuk for tomorrow. Wabuk for tomorrow. This next one is probably one you've heard a lot, and that's Wabin for morning. So no Wabin, like it's good morning. So Wabin, morning. This next one is Pakonyak. It's evening. Pakonyak. So kind of sounds like cognac for nightcap, for evening. I don't know. It's just a little clever way to remember that. See, this next one is Geshep, early morning. Geshep for early morning. How do we say time? It is indicated by the letters P, P-I. For example, Odajo P means at this time. So that Oda is this, and then I think Jo or J is like at this time right now, like a location, and that P is time, so it means at this time. I might be wrong on the J part, but I think that could be either J or Jo. Bama P. Y'all have probably heard that before. Bama P, which is used at goodbye, used as goodbye, means literally at a later time. So that Bama is like later, and then P is time. So if you was to say that Nija is what, could be what or how. Nija P is basically you asking the question when. So Nija P is when. We can't use this P alone, but we'll talk a little more about it in the next lesson. Let's see. That's kind of like with some things in the language. it just goes with something else. Like you can't necessarily say everything by itself as far as trying to break it down into a word. Bolskishep, Bolskishep, very early morning. Jeba, this past morning. So Jeba, this past morning. Debutket, it's night. Debutket. This next one is Opta Debutket, halfway through the night. So that Opta is like in the middle or halfway through something. Um, so that's you might see that for 12 at midnight, but we're still going to go through 12, uh, the actual number, whenever we get to telling time. But yeah, you could say Opta the butt kit, and then you might also see Opta in the place of the number 30. Uh, Basically, the middle of the hour, the middle of the night. So whenever you see that Opta, just remember it's the middle or halfway. Opta the butt kit. This next one is the butt kolk. The butt kolk. It's last night. This next one is gish cognac. That gish is like after, and then cognac is evening. So basically, when it starts getting dark, when it starts winding down, gish cognac. That kep is that winding down. Forgot what sleepy was, but I know the kep is in there, and that's kind of like winding down. Gish cognac. So that basically after, and it's starting to get dark. So gish cognac, dark after evening. This next one is gish get, is day. Gish get, it's day. This next one is now que, is noon. Now que, noon. And y'all remember from our places lesson last Thursday, what it means when that EK gets added means it's at that location, like at so like right now, like this is still kind of an at. So now quick, it's like it's noon, um, basically at noon. Now quick. So now quick at noon. Gish now quick. So remember what I said gish was, that's that after. Now we just added now que for noon, so afternoon. Gish now que, it's afternoon. This next one is begeshmok. So this is another word for evening, the time when the sun sets. But I don't know, I hear this one a lot. Whenever you add a wetch to this, it becomes the west, and that's where the sun sets. So the wetch is like a direction. So whenever you add that begeshmok, that's when it's the west. But here it's by itself. Begeshmok is evening, the time when the sun sets. Our language is extremely descriptive, as I'm certain you can see from the literal translation of many of these words, as well as talking about the months themselves. Word of caution: don't become too worried about what a word literally means. I only tell these to you because I find them interesting. As you learn more of the language, you will understand why these words mean what they do. If you worry too much about the literal, you will miss the everyday usage of the word is used for. Hence, instead of hearing opta de bucket and thinking night, you might think, let's see halfway through the evening, while you are thinking that the rest of the sentence may have gone by. So I think that, yeah, it's trying to kind of stress here, don't get stuck on something. Um, so let's see, yeah, flowers. Yeah, evenings. So I'm gonna kind of open these, and we may come back to them. Let's see. We'll go here. Word. Let's see. Times a day. Okay. New share. So got a crossword here. Here, I'll drag it over that way in person people can see. We got a crossword here with those times a day. You can work on it now, or you can work on it later. But we got that for what we just covered. Um, and then this other one, let's see, is I think this is kind of in a bigger packet. So like you can kind of treat the rest of it as extra. You can go in and work on that as well. Um, you share. I think it's the PDF one. Oh, here it is. Here we go. So drag this over. Oh, it'll let me. There we go. Okay. Um, so yeah, for these next two, it's just these two. I know it's a bigger packet for you online folks. For you in-person people don't have to worry about it because I just printed off these two, but there is more in the packet if y'all wanted to work on that, just more words. So it's kind of what we just went over. Let's see. And then we'll get to the next handout. Let's see. We're on telling time. Okay. Make sure everybody can see this. Share. Drag it over. Okay. All right. So we're going to be kind of talking about telling time in reference to a clock. So mentioned previously, we that time is a foreign thing in traditional Potawatomi life. Something got done in the time it took to do it. If it didn't get done, you went without. For example, if a person told you a ceremony started at around 3, it would be more realistic than saying we will start at 3 p.m. How to ask what time it is. Ni jetso yawuk. So that ni jetso is how much of something, like as far as an amount. And then the Yahweh is to be. Um, I think that EK like at, so like basically what time is it right now? Um, Literally how much of it is there. This is favored in Kansas. Oh, what time is it? Nijetso Yawok. So I'll kind of go over the next one. So Nijetso Debugganak. How much is there measured? So whenever you might say, which there is a worksheet at the end of this, whenever you say what time it is as far as the number, we'll kind of show you that. But whenever you answer, I believe the answer is debug in. Um, and then the question, Nijetso is debuganak. So Nijetso debuganak, and then you'd be like Schwatzo debugin. It's 8 o'clock. So nay. So kind of go to the next. Again, the P tends to indicate time. It can't be used alone though. So Nipija is where. So you see that P is still there, and that J, is basically like a location. So Nipija is where. All right, now we're flipping it. See, it kind of looks similar. The J at the end of it indicating a location. That's how you know it's where for that question, and that's a question. So Nipija, where. This next one is Nija P. That's when. So Nija P is when. And then we already seen Bama P later on. Bama P later on, literally at a later time. So, okay. All right. In the last class, we kind of went over some math. So we're not doing the exact lesson that we did for that class, but we're still going to kind of cover numbers because you can't really be able to tell time without knowing some numbers. And I know this is kind of new for some of you as far as the numbers go. So we're not going to get stuck too much on the math, but we're just kind of focused on telling time. So this is the numbers review, 1 through 10. Ngot, that's 1. Ngot is 1. Niche, it's 2. Niche, it's 2. This next one is Nswe for 3. Nswe, 3. This next one is Niao for 4. Niao, 4. I think I heard a cat back there or something. Next one is Nianen. It's 5. Nianen for 5. This next one is Ngotwatso for 6. Ngotwatso for 6. This next one is, which I think that should be a feather here, but this one, next one is Noak for 7. Noak for a feather. If you want to write that down, like just write a little feather over that E right there. That's how you can kind of remember that. Same thing with that Debuganac, Nijetso Debuganac. That's kind of what it sounds like. So Schwatzo, it's 8. Schwatzo, it's 8. This next one is Jacques, 9. Jacques, 9. This next one is Ndatso, Ndatso for 10. Okay, we're gonna go a little higher. All right, so now I'm gonna kind of explain this. So if you can count through 1 through 10, you're doing good. But it's not too hard to go higher. So here, it doesn't really start changing until it gets to 20. But like on that shuch is almost like and or in addition. So we kind of use that as a separator in between different numbers. So like for instance, like say 843. In between the 8 and the 40, you might have a shetch just to separate. Like that for that colon on whenever you write out the time. And then after the big number, so like we'll say 20 is the big number. And anything after 20, like 20, 30, 40, so that first digit on the left, then we might say a shetch after that as well. So for instance, 20, 21. So I'm going to say Nishwab took shetch and golt. You see how I separated it? That's kind of distinguishing that shetch right there. So right here, just as far as it makes sense with the math, that's Mdatso. Remember, that was 10. So Mdatso, shetch, and golt is 11. Okay, so we're in the tens all the way up to 20. You still see 10. So let's go back over this one. Ndatso shech and go. That's 11. Ndatso shech and goat. This next one is Ndatso shech niche. Ndatso shech niche. Okay, so and it's kind of similar. You're still going up in ones. We already did 1 through 10. You just did 1 and 2, basically like of 11, through 20. You just have the Madatso and the Shetch here. So Madatso, Shetch, and Sway, 13. Madatso, Shetch, Sway, that's 13. Ndatso, Shetch, Niao, that's 14. Ndatso, Shetch, Nianen, it's 15. Ndatso, Shetch, Nianen, it's 15. Ndatso, Shetch, Ngotwatso, 16. Ndatso, Shetch, Ngotwatso, 16. Ndatso, Shetch, Noak, 17. So Ndatso, Shetch, Noak, 17. Ndatso, Shetch, Schwatso, it's 18. Ndatso, Shetch, Schwatso, it's 18. Ndatso, Shetch, Jock, it's 19. Ndatso, Shetch, Jock, it's 19. And then finally it kind of changes, but remember what 2 was, right? That niche still here. So that can kind of help you with that. But niche Waptuk, that's 20. So here is where it's gonna start changing. So sometimes the numbers look a little different when it gets sequential. Right here is Swaptuk for 30. And y'all remember 3 was in Sway, right? So Swaptuk is 30. And Swaptuk is 30. This next one is Meow Waptuk. It's 40. So you see that 4 right there, that Meow, then Waptuk. This next one is Meow Nom Tene. Now it's getting a little different. So all the way up to 40, you got the Waptuks, and then it starts changing at 50. So Niao Nom Tene. And you remember what 5 was? 5 was Nianen. So Niao Nom Tene. You can still kind of see it. That's 50. Ngot Wat Som Tene. That's 60. And y'all remember what 6 was? Ngot Watso. So you still kind of see that. Ngot Wat Som Tene. 60. Noak Som Tene. 70. Noak Som Tene. 70. This next one is Schwat Som Tene. Is 80. This next one is Shak Som Tene. And then finally it changes a little bit again. Goat walk. So now we're in the hundreds, triple digits, and you still see that in goat for that 1. Now here, even though we didn't go through everything, like as far as Nishwap took from 20, if you wanted to add those smaller numbers, right? For instance, 31 through 39, before you got to 40, you're just going to add a shetch and then those first 10 numbers that we already went over. You're just going to add a shetch, and then you're going to go back here and add any one of these. So that's kind of how we're going to be using our numbers when we're telling time. Okay. Some words you will need to make it easier. some more time-related words. Let's see. Got gaga for soon. Gaga for soon. This next one is bawamshe. It's before. Bawamshe. It's before. This next one is gish. It's after. Gish. It's after. This next one, y'all remember what in the middle was apta. Halfway. Can also be used for 30 or in the middle. Apta. So half. This next one is wabin. Morning for AM. So if you want to add that AM indicator, you just add wabin to it. And then for the PM time for the evening, you could add a bukonyak. Bukonyak for evening for that PM. So so another thing, as far as what we were kind of going through on time, remember I was saying that you could use shech for a separator in between those times and those numbers. We can also do the same thing with mina. So mina would work too. If you don't like shech, you can use mina. And that's like and. It could also be again, like if you put like Bama Mina later again. But Mina is and. In order to make a number clear, use Mina between the hour and smaller number. So you can kind of do it like that, or Shech. When it starts getting into those bigger numbers, it might be easier to do Shech for that first separator and then Mina for that next one, or vice versa. Either way, I would say is not necessarily wrong. This next one is Noak, Mina Nishwaptuk Shech Nianin Yawan. So Noak, Mina Nishwaptuk Shech Nianin Yawan. It is 7:25. So remember, this was 7, right? That Noak. And then that Mina. We got a separator. We got a separator in between that first, as far as what hour it is. Now we're into the minutes. And then Nishwaptuk. Remember, that was 20. And then we have another separator, that Shech. And then the number of single minutes. So we have the number of minutes with 10 right here, and then the Shech number of minutes single right here. So Nianin for that 5. So we got 5, separator 20, separator 7, and then Yawan, what time it is. So Noak, Mina Nishwaptuk, Shech Nianin, Yawan. Dawigas. Let's see. Remember, you can either use Yawan or Debuganak. Okay, I said that wrong earlier. It was Debugne. I think I said Debugin. I think Debugin is Debugin is like a ruler, like measuring. But I think that's what tripped me up. But this one is Debugne. So you can say either of these three, adding to the end of it, as far as the number, distinguishing what time it is. You're talking about the time. Also, be creative. It might be much easier to say soon. It will be 6 rather than 5:53, or to say 5 before 6 than 5:55. Which on these ones, to me, it kind of sounds like you'd be doing more math. But you could still do either way. And that's kind of what those other terms were. Let's go back to that real quick. See that Bawamshe before, and then soon, Gaga, Gish after, Opta, middle, and then Mina. So Nish, Opta, Yawan. Nish, Opta, Yawan. So it is 2:30. So you see the 2 right here. and then here's in the middle or halfway, and then Yawan, what time it is. So Nish Opta Yawan, it is 2:30. Next one is Schwatzo Mina Niawabtuk the Buganak. So we got the 8 right here, Schwatzo Mina, the separator, Niawabtuk is 40, and then Debuganak, what time it is. This next one is Nishwabtuk, Buamshe, Jakyawan. So it's 20 before 9. So it's 20 before 9. See how they put that Buamshe in there? Means it's 8:40. So Nishwabtuk, Buamshe, Jakyawan. Nishwabtuk, Buamshe, Jakyawan. Okay, so my bad. It's probably my lisp. I got a lisp now. Let's see. This next one is Ndatso Shech Nish. Ndatso Shech Nish Mina Nishwabtuk the Buganak. It is 12:20. So let's I'm gonna let somebody break that down. Anybody wanna try? What is that Ndatso? Ndatso. Okay. And EAE, that's what it is. And then that Shech, what was that?
And.
Yeah, and then Niche.
2.
2.
Hey, what about the Mina? Yep.
And
again.
And.
What about Nishwabtuk?
20.
20.
Yep, 20. Okay. Now what's Debuganak?
The time.
Okay. All right. Very good. Gedowigism. This next one is Ndatso Shech Nyanin Gish Nishawan. So Ndatso.
10.
Yep, 10. Shech.
And.
And then Nyanin.
5.
5.
Yep. And then Gish.
After.
And then Nish.
2.
And then Yawan.
It is time.
Yep. Okay, so we got 10 and 5 after 2 o'clock. So 15 after 2. So 2:15. All right, this next one is y'all feel like y'all are getting kind of y'all are starting to recognize it? Got a question? Well, like you would need to add that at the end of the number. Otherwise, you're just saying numbers. Like as far as time. Same thing with the Yawan.
What's the difference?
So it's just alternate ways of saying what time it is. So debuganak or debugging is like how much of something that's measured. And then the Yawan is like what it is at that time that Yahweh is to, or Yeh, I believe is to be. Yeah. So what it is at this time.
Okay.
So they're both meaning the same thing. It's just different ways of saying what time it is. And problem. So this next one is let's see, Ndatso Abdiyawan Odawaban. There's something new in this one. I think y'all already seen Odajopi. That Oda is kind of new. We haven't really went over that, but you see the Ndatso, so you know that's 10.
It's 10,
What's Opta?
Half.
half.
And Yawan.
It is
Uh-huh. And then Oda.
this
Yep. And then Waban.
morning.
Morning.
Okay. So it's 10 yeah,
10:30.
it is this morning. So yeah, 10:30. Datso Opta Yawan Oda Waban, 10:30 a.m. Remember, so I added that Waban to distinguish AM in the AM in the morning. Here's another example. So Jacques,
9
Mina,
and
Niao Nom Tene,
50,
Niao Nom Tene,
50,
Chech,
And
Jacques, Yawan.
oh,
9. It is
Okay. So we got, yep. So what time is it?
9:59.
9:59, or just 1 minute before 10.
Hmm.
So you can kind of that. I feel like that second part. I know some people say that as far as like what time it is, just kind of talking. I usually say I feel like the one on the left is easier than the one on the right. I feel like you're being more descriptive, going out of your way to saying what time it is before or after,
Right.
versus actually just saying the number. But that's just my opinion. Some people might find the other way easier. So
Hey, Cole.
yeah.
I'm good with numbers like when they go consecutively, but it in my head yet I haven't got it down to where I can just throw in a 5 or an 8. You know what I mean? Like go from
Yeah,
1 to 10, I'm good, but then when you're trying to jump in with different numbers, it takes me a lot longer to try to figure that out.
yeah, that's because like it's and I understand. However, that's why we're just kind of going through some examples. But it on the pattern all the way 1 through 100, and I think even 1,000, it kind of changes up. So I would just kind of break it up and separate the patterns whenever each changes, and then move on to the next thing as far as whatever you're studying. Yeah, this kind of is everything being thrown at you as far as showing examples. But we're just kind of showing like how you would say what time it is. But as far as back to those numbers, like
Mm.
how it changed up at 40, um, or not 40, excuse me, um, or how it changed up at 50 right here in the pattern, and then
Mhm.
it changed again at 100. So that I see what you're saying on it not being consistent, even though there's still some elements um, that are the same. And then right here, where you have into the 11s, you're just adding that 10. Just remembering that Mandazzo is right there. The Shetch. I really feel like that this is kind of showing you what time it is. Kind of, this would be the next after you get 1 through 10, and then yeah, that's. I would just break up the patterns, but and then have them all out in front of me when I'm trying to figure out what time it is, like until you have it memorized. So,
so I'm starting to understand like how it works. And when
uh-huh.
I've got the info in front of me, I can figure it out. But I'm kind of getting worried about the knowledge check because we've had so much vocabulary and I can figure it out. And I'm starting to be able to pronounce it better, but there's so many words. There's no way in the world I'm going to be able to remember all of them.
Well, that's why I said that, and I might right before the week do a study guide to kind of help out. But I still kind of want you kind of like reviewing and going over the material just to see how many words you do get, see how many words you do retain, because that's kind of what we're trying to see. And I know you're not going to be able to get all of them, But I think out of each topic, as far as that knowledge check, it's going to be the most general, the most common ones for each topic covered. So
Okay.
you don't have to worry that like it's not going to be everything that we've handed out. But I still kind of want you looking at everything because
Sure. I do.
even if you look at something extra and it's not necessarily on the test, then you might have it even though you're not being checked
Yeah.
on at the end.
Okay.
Uh,
I'm just getting a little worried that like there's so much, and this is my first time I've ever been exposed to this, and
yeah.
it's just a lot.
Well,
So I'm just
it's
you've done a good
the
job, and I don't want to fail and make it look like you didn't do your job.
oh no, as far as that I mean it's not okay. So whatever you had before, if you get anything added at all, like this is not a letter grade, like this is not a college class, and this is a beginner class. And like I said, the goal was to basically increase your word count. Um, however much that is. So like I wouldn't really even like that's why like I'm kind of calling it a knowledge
Okay.
check and not a test. So if you get something added and then if you pick up a concept, then that's kind of what these
Okay.
beginner classes are for. So
Okay, definitely. Well, that makes me feel better about it because you say knowledge check and my mind goes test. So
nope,
thank you.
no knowledge check.
Thank
Uh,
you.
no problem. So we got a couple more questions.
Can you explain the difference between sense and meaning?
So the the same. It's the same. It's just another alternate way of doing it.
Oh, it's not because
So it's the same in this situation. Like as far as like Mina could be the word and, but you're not going to use shetch. Shetch. Okay, so there is a difference. The shetch is only really used for the and regarding time, but the Mina, the Mina could be used in a sentence as and. Like I picked up the bag and the phone and like be wapkos. I wouldn't be saying shetch be wapkos. The shetch is kind of to basically to separate these numbers, but it's another way of saying in addition or and.
so if, on this one, if we were to switch around meaning, set,
Yes.
we messed it up.
No. That's why I was saying you could do either or.
Can you all check or you can use all? Or mix it up?
So as far as now, but here we'll kind of go right here. Like where's an example of both of them? So shetch. So you can kind of see where the numbers are. So like kind of think of the clock as far as what time. So well, that's not really a good example because now we're already kind of dividing, but shock. Here we go, right here. Here's a single digit one. So Jacques, Mina. So whatever hour it is, we got the Mina, right? And then after the big word, after the tens, so in between these two digits, we have the shetch. So we got the Mina right here and the shetch right here. I don't know if the Zoom can see my cursor. Zoom folks can see my cursor, but I have it in between the 9 and the 50. Jacques Mina, and then Nial Nomtene shetch in between the 5 and the 9. So
there is a difference because the mina is the change in the number. Because look, Medatso Shed is 12. And then we switch to another number because Medatso and like 10 and 2 is 12. But the mina means it's a separate number. So we can't use them interchangeably because it's like it's saying and then here's it's hard to explain, but you can't use them interchangeably. Way to explain it.
You can say it. Madazzo, Mina,
No.
Nish, such, Nishwaka, the Bagada.
But no, because
Yes, you can.
the mina is between two separate numbers.
And so is the such.
No, because 12 is one.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So
Better preference
I-
did the PowerPoint.
yeah, I see, okay, I see what you're saying math wise. But that's not really kind of how it is, because they're just kind of used for separators. That's kind of why we kind of explained that the whole concept of time from this clock is a more modern concept. So that's why we're using like the Mina and the Shetch. That's why I called them separators, basically. But I mean, there's other ways you could kind of like um figure out time, but this is just kind of based on a clock and it's more modern, and that's kind of what either one of them are used for. But you can, if you want to do it in a certain way, it wouldn't be wrong either way, is what I'm saying. But um if you want to do it a certain way, you can, by all means. But if I was to, it would just I'll give you another example. If I didn't hear the Shetch or the Mina, and you just said the number, I could still figure it out what time you're trying to say.
Is Shetch ever used other than numbers?
No,
That's
but
only a number word. Okay, that helps.
but Mina is, so there's the difference.
Okay, that's a big difference. Okay, that helps.
Um. So and I know that as far as telling what time it is, you kind of have to do a little math, but it's kind of what we're covering tonight. So I think we made it through that one. So let's go to show you the other handout. Let's see, we got telling time. Here we go. Okay, I don't know why that's well, oh, here we go. There we go. Why that's in the middle. Okay, so this is another it's another crossword over what we kind of covered. Let's see, PM and AM and I'm not going to show you the answers, but if y'all want to check that out and work on that. So, let's see, times a day. Okay, we got something else to show y'all. One of our language instructors is going to sing y'all a song. From Jeezy's album. Let's see,
Dope.
it's pretty cool. It's days of the week. Is this last worksheet is basically no show. I'm not playing Napoleon. But so the last worksheet that we'll have you work on, it kind of asks what day it is. So let's see, get this going. Kind of need to have the handout in front as well. So we got this, and then Zoom. Oh, kind of new share maybe. Okay, here we go. All right, so I think y'all remember the Adams family, right? This is called Magwetsugon. I can yeah, here we go. Days of the week.
Oh na magijek goat gijek nish gijek opta gijek niao gijek niano gijek odanke gijek magwetsagon 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 magwetsagon.
Okay, Miigwetch, Jeezy. So yeah, y'all kind of remember the Adams family, right? So this is the song "Days of the Week," but in Potawatomi. Let's see if I can minimize this real quick. So right here, Um, I know it doesn't have the translation, but if you go Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Wait, where'd Sunday go? Oh, excuse me. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So, and then the Magwetsugon is days of the week. So that Namagijik is Sunday, right? It's like for that Nama, I think is new for like the start of the week, Namagijik. And then Ngolgijik is the um, first day of the first day of the work week. Ngolgijik, it's like Monday. And then Nishgijik is Tuesday. So for the second day of the week, and then Opta Gijik is Wednesday. And then Nial Gijik is Thursday, right, for the fourth day. And then Niano Gijik, the fifth day. See that Niano? It's a little different than Nianen because it's sequential, that Niano. Like that Nial Nom today. Remember how it changed from the Nianen to Niano. And then Odanke Gijik, the day you go to town. So Saturday, Odanke Gijik. And this is Magwetsugon, so days of the week. So I'm gonna play it again. That way it just gets stuck in your brain forever. So
Magwetsugon, 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 Magwetsugon. Oh, na magijak, goat gijak, nish gijak, opta gijak, niao gijak, niano gijak, odanke gijak, Magwetsugon,
Magwetsugon,
Magwetsugon, Magwetsugon, Magwetsugon, Magwetsugon.
all right. So kind of doing something in song is just kind of another way to have something memorized. So that's pretty catchy. So
What was Sunday again? Namagijik?
yeah, Namagijik.
Namagijik? Miigwech.
Oh, okay. So yep, prayer day. Yep, that's what it means. And then let's see, we'll go here and then right here. So basically, y'all kind of I hope everybody kind of has the handouts of what we just went over. So I think let's see, is that the PDF? Okay, here we go. So if y'all want to work on this last worksheet, times a day, this is a little it's kind of got a lot on there, but just kind of work on that and then let us know if you have any questions. But it's over basically everything we just covered. Here, I'll kind of minimize it that way you can kind of, I don't know if the Zoom folks can see the whole screen or not. Zoom out. Okay, should be able to now. Is that too small for you Zoom folks? Can y'all see it?
I can see it. I can see it fine.
What? Okay, I'll zoom it in. And is that Debbie Bradshaw? I think it is. And I don't know if you want to let her know. I have the handout she was asking for Thursday. Last week she said she missed because I think it's storm or something. Here, I'll see if I can cut off that part. So determine. Maybe I can do it like that. Um, yeah. I'll just kind of say determine if the time falls under one of the times a day, section 2.5. Oh, that's unimportant. Okay. So as long as this stuff is showing. Wonder if I could zoom in anymore. I think I can. Yeah, which I believe was places. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna walk around and see how everybody's doing. And but some stuff are notes wise. If you can't fit it on that slide, where
No, my contact is dark like that day.
Oh,
Yeah, it's fine. Gives me extra.
yeah, I got that on right now. I'll just turn it off again for that. And also, as far as another resource, use y'all's dictionaries. I believe I don't think it does it by the number, but typing in the number in English in the dictionary, whenever you hit the English tab, should pull up the number. So like 40, if you were to spell it out, FORTY, you should find it. So yeah, I would kind of use that if you can't find it in the handouts. Like a lot of stuff wherever that isn't necessarily, based on dialect and stuff like that. A lot of stuff is nailed down here. Different things, so I'll always. Like numbers, that's just another way of thinking numbers. What? Okay, I'll go check. Okay, if I could find, oh, it's over here. I kind of, well, okay. They're probably seeing a gray box. I wonder if I could drag it over. Oh yeah, I can drag it over here. This Potawatomi may have or use numerals. We use numbers. Say 4:30. You always have to say 4:10. Sorry. Um. So, yeah, as far as the separator, but I don't. That's another thing that I've kind of been shown and taught is that whenever you ask, I know it's frustrating sometimes because we were just kind of talking about something similar. Like, is something always something? Is not necessarily always going to be 100% on something, but that is a way of doing it. So, if that answers it, like
This whole shit, because it doesn't matter. Like you don't have to use everything, but there. Okay, right.
yeah, because that's not the only thing you're going to see that with, like in the language as you move forward and stuff. So
When time don't necessarily have to use such.
well, I would know what you were talking about if you well, actually, I would know like what numbers you're saying. Um, I would probably be able to figure it out. But if you don't add like a debuganek or a Yawan at the end, now I don't know what time you're doing. But if you just didn't use the Shetch or the Mina, I could still figure it out. That's why I called them separators. And as far as the meaning, because like, and that's another thing too. Whenever you like are talking about like an English concept, it's not always going to translate over exactly the same way in Nishnabemon. Like it's not always going to be exactly the same, and you'll see like how a lot of stuff gets flipped on that. So, um, but yeah, Steve, yeah, I would say that you're correct on doing that. Sorry, that was a very long explanation for a simple question. Yeah. Yes. Same numbers as English written. But
Do you put a shetch or something in between the day of the week? Some of those exercises have days of the week.
um no. Uh it's just kind of asking you what day of the week it is.
The one says like Tuesday, 8:45 p.m. So would you just say like Nishgishek and then say the time, or would you say Nishgishek Mine or Shetch the rest of it?
Yeah, that's exactly what you would do. Now, this is another thing I don't like isn't necessarily, I mean, it's just something that I would do. I would say Nishkizik, and then the time. But I would like it again. It's not important. Like we're trying to fight against English tendencies, but I would probably put a comma after the day, and then put
Okay.
the punctuation. But again, I'm going to say this again. Like the punctuation, like I don't consider it important at all. Like when it comes to the language at all. Periods, commas, semicolons, like yeah.
You just do that to just show that you kind of pause between the day of the week and the time. Like Tuesday,
Yeah.
5:45. Like you'd pause if you were actually saying it to somebody. So you put a comma when you're writing it, just to kind of show there's a pause there.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, great. Thank you.
What is the six? Like, I know you said don't worry about the literal part of it, but like the goat that's in the six, like what does that mean if it's in the one and in the six?
I wouldn't stress on that, but I'm actually not sure. I'll get back to you on that, but I don't think it's anything. I think it's just how we say six. But I mean, maybe as far as a five, adding a one to it makes it six. But I'll get back to you on that. Like I know it sounds like in Go Otso, but it's not separated, even though there's a space. It's one word in Go Watso. So sometimes also you might see something that looks familiar, but it may not necessarily be the connection. Like there may not be a connection. It just shares a webbook. It is what it is, kind of deal.
All right, English.
So just since you guys mind that you guys have a message there about the whole section. He says they're interchangeable when you're dealing with numbers time. I mean, it can be used for other things, just like whole. So take the six. So.
Which that's what's up at the book in there. I didn't have it because I was in. Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah. Um, and
I
guys,
just did it for our purpose.
yeah, for sure. And guys, I apologize as far as that handout. If for any of you that write big and stuff, um, you could if you got a piece of notebook paper or something like that, write number and amount, and then writing your stuff on another sheet, whoever. I don't know, it is kind of a lot. That might be easier.
Or even if you just write a normal size, it's still small.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Especially when you have a day of the week in there with it.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot going on, but it is kind of over everything we just kind of covered. So if you can do this handout and kind of work on it, and this is the beginning of the week, so definitely got time to work on it. This Thursday we're still in the time topic. We're just going to be going towards months and then years, and then we might come back and review the numbers again, just to make sure y'all got it.
Months is exciting.
Oh yeah, for sure. We got some pretty cool charts. We're excited to show y'all. So one of our language instructors, he's an artist, so he kind of put some of his artwork in there as well. So and I know kind of took a break on the skit tonight because like this is kind of involving a little bit of math as far as numbers wise. It's a little um, difficult for people for their first time, especially seeing the numbers. But it's kind of like you kind of jumping around. You're going to get more familiar with it. But since months and years shouldn't take too long, Thursday we might revisit that. We might do 2 skits or revisit that one, or just do one. I got some looks when I said 2 skits. And just to kind of revisit again, which I think I said this before, just revisiting what Julie said. Um, as far as the skits is just a part of this class, but you're not being tested. Besides the sounds of the consonants and the vowels, you're not being tested over your cadence. That's for some of you that is new, is just now developing as you're becoming more familiar with these words. The skits is a part of the class, but so you're not being tested on that. So like we're just kind of helping y'all along, helping you say those words, helping you pronounce them. That way you can do it on your own. So, but as far as that knowledge check, it's just kind of as far as what to study and how to study. Flashcards, audio. We've been sending audio files, and then using that dictionary. You kind of have to have access to a dictionary, but these handouts that we've been sending for people that are having technical issues also has all the answers on it as well. So literally just writing notes, writing them down, and then maybe finding somebody to kind of quiz you on them as far as a partner, and then also trying out the pronunciation as well. But that's kind of another goal of this class, besides increasing your word count, is getting you comfortable enough to be able to work on some of this on your own.
Is there any place I could find beginner material that's aimed and geared toward like children, like for my
Yeah.
son, like
Oh
worksheets and
yeah.
that?
We have a children's course, and a middle school course, I believe. And what was your name?
It's Michael or Colton Metzger.
Oh, gotcha. I remember your email. So, yeah, uh, we'll send you the link to the middle school course, and it's self-paced. So, and I'd also, as far as another suggestion for your son, that YouTube channel. There's a ton of content, beginner as well. There's also a kids. I think one of the channels on YouTube, is also a kids channel, like for kids content, basically. So yeah, we have plenty of that, and I'll make sure to send you that to him.
For sure, Miigwetch. He watches the channel a lot. I just
Uh-huh.
wanted to try to get some worksheets in there because he's homeschooled, so I could be kind of using that kind of material a lot more.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds good.
Miigwetch.
Uh,
Well, I've had for a while and I haven't used them, and I've pulled them out to use them recently. These books from the Anishinaabe Institute for Cultural Studies by Donald Perot, as a phrase book, and then something else too. A couple of books. Are those okay to use?
um, yeah, yeah. Those are good resources. I'd say use everything at your disposal as far as the language. And if you have any questions, just reach out to us. But yeah, um, now, kind of like I said, as far as anything and always being 100%, that's not a lot of times the case between communities and dialects and even speakers and stuff. So, but yeah, I would use everything at your disposal, resource wise. And
It
yeah,
helped a lot when you at some point you said something like that this wasn't a written, well, that the words that we're seeing and how they're spelled are just sort of um a version of the language that's been written in a way that English speakers can understand because it's our alphabet.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it
As far
makes
as the writing
100
system, and there's different writing systems. Yeah, you're exactly right.
right. And so it makes 100% that it completely makes sense that different people would take those words and like write them down slightly differently depending on how
Based
they
on
might be phrased in their language, but it's the same word
yeah,
in
exactly, and that's
different
why
communities, different dialects or whatever you'd say.
yeah, that's why you should never get. I know it might be new as far as the sound wise. You shouldn't get intimidated by a different spelling of a word if it sounds the same. Because we were an oral society, you know. As far as like you were learning the language from a baby, and then as
Right.
you grew up in the community, and you know, a lot of things have been lost and have changed since then. But that's why we're trying to kind of bring it back and do this now. But yeah, you're right as far as the writing systems go. But it's another thing where you know not something to get stuck on. If you're using the language as far as you're saying. That's another reason why we're doing these skits as far as getting you speaking, even if you've never said the word anymore. Because if you went like for a while just trying to memorize, writing down and doing flashcards, but you never try to pronounce it or say it based on how it sounds, then you would be really familiar with a lot of the words, but you wouldn't really be any closer to speaking. And that's the goal, is to speak like your ancestors did. So
You've done a great job with that. The skits, although in the beginning they were really like very difficult to try to think, well, how am I going to say these things? It has definitely gotten those that, but what you called it, like a cadence and pronunciation, everything that's gotten that more into my head. So, well, whether I will remember them or not, I don't know exactly. I'll remember some, but for sure that the cadence and the pronunciation is going to stick with me
oh, for
a
sure.
lot.
Hope you it's ingrained in your head now. You'll never forget
Yeah,
it.
I'm gonna keep working on it.
Go ahead. Yes, sir. Into the hundreds. Yeah. Well, kind of thing. So like as far as like going up, remember how like we should take gold walk. I think maybe like beach walk, square walk. So
So if it was, 123, what would that look like? 123.
uh, yeah. Well, I don't you're getting that like we use stuff. Like I'm telling you, it's not a certain way to work. But even like as far as you know, however you want. But like as far as the shed or the mean and the hand, like as far as if it was like if it was 123, you know, the good walk sense, uh, the good walk sense, this walk sense. Yeah, okay. Okay. Oh, from 9:45 a.m. to say 9 and 40 and 5.
Gotcha.
So there is a lot on there. I can, if I can get back to that, with, y'all get more, paper. Yeah. With the tablet downtown. Let's watch the video. First one came up with the kids, and I thought, well, maybe basic question. Like the first half hour, when the granddad, yeah. I would like to know. Yeah. Okay, so some of those videos are cultural videos. So might not all be, might be cultural. That's big. Kind of like you watch the video with Michelle. Yeah, there's a few missions to yeah. I think there's other things to do.
That, I'm talking about for the, microphone app, for the digital stuff, but there's also the self-paced board, that you can go through on your own, for adults. I think it's high school board as well, so, I can, one of your email. All of the
Did you win anything? It's
just real quick, Maryland. Cameron. Dean. Robin. Got it. Great. Sorry.
That was.
There was.
Cheyenne.
Cheyenne.
Yeah, Cheyenne.
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah.
We got that's Maryland, Cameron, Dean, Robin. Great.
On there.
think it's her. If someone writes Dawn.
Is there Dawn?
Dawn.
Dawn? Yeah.
But the
Yes.
Robin, but she signs Dawn's name.
Oh, well, yeah, everybody must be right out.
Either or.
A lot of things, so.
What did he say? Someone he said humbug shit. Yeah, I think it's Seminole. And honey,
What do you say?
humbug shit.
Say is Seminole, is Cody, and that's E.
Oh.
Yeah, somebody check. We say, and that's the name. Oh, no.
Yeah, Wishna.
Be a Wishna.
Wishna.
Wishna. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Y'all come eat, be a Wishna.
Be a Wishna. Oh, be a,
Oh, it depends.
Wishna is like, you telling one person.
Oh, we,
Wishna.
oh, it's everybody, yeah.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Now it's kind of getting close to that time. Does any of our, no, y'all been working on it. Does any of our Zoom folks, have any more questions before we close? Let's see. Done.
I do. Does Ode mean this?
This? Uh-huh, you got it.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh. Let's see, we got something else from, can the link to the class recording be emailed to us? Okay, so as far as the class recordings, we got the 3, I think, right now, but we're on the 4th week. So I don't think we've gotten the other ones. As soon as we get those ones edited, eventually all of the recordings will be up to be able to review. But go through those handouts. So see, Don Pro did a language teaching tape for CPM a long time ago. He's the first speaker of the language, the more commonly used northern words. We do in some of the Deborah, if you want, there's a dialect handout for communities, which we covered that in the last beginner class. I could send that to you since you're asking about northern and southern. I'll remember to send that as well. So, Colton, Michael, middle school. Debbie, dialect handout. Yep, that's true, Deborah.
Well, for the one thing that was puzzling me this week, well, as I worked on the lessons for today, was the crossword puzzle with the times of the day and the word sunset. So if you look at the page that gives you the clue how it's supposed to be spelled, it's different than the one that was in the times of the day, which is different than the one that there's another handout that also has times of the day, and they're all different. But
Okay, sorry,
that's
that
that same thing that you were saying about how like one word can be spelled differently, but it's still the same word.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's an example. Yep.
Because it's different, and the crossword puzzle is different, and it's different twice in the two different handouts. So at first I was kind of puzzled by that, but then I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Yep, for sure.
So I'm starting to get that. It's starting to sink in.
Okay, good. Lynette.
Thank you.
Every time I'm done, turn on, I'll be like that. I was on the look, smells pretty nice. Oh, it should be. Wait, she was here.
Third, we, close that.
See. Okay, guys, go ahead and say Bama Mina, and we'll see y'all Thursday, and then come back ready to cover some more time. We're gonna be going into the months and years. So, Bama P.
Miigwech.
Aha.
What?
Dang it, I grabbed the wrong thing.
Or would you say Mano Pecognac?
Yeah, it's good evening. No cognac, Jack. Mama P.